You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know what this is about. So to not waste your time, let me quickly explain the rules. 1. Obviously, I cannot dodge, block, or run away from any attacks. 2. A boss missing their attack does not count as me dodging their attack. If I am standing still and don't get hit, then that counts as them missing me. 3. I have to kill every boss in the game. 4. I can run past normal enemies for the sake of convenience. 5. No glitches are allowed. With those rules established, let's get into the run. To start off the run, I select the Knight class because it has good armor, good endurance, good vitality, and good strength, which are all things needed in this run. For my starting gift, I obviously start with the Master Key, and then nothing happens in Undead Asylum. The Hollows here is easy as peasy, and Asylum Demon is the only quote-unquote hard part here, but his attacks don't do that much damage to me. He lasts as long as I do, and that finishes Undead Asylum for now. Now that I'm in Lordran, things start getting a bit more interesting. First, using the souls I got from the Asylum Demon, I up my strength to 13. Then I run to the graveyard and pick up the Soul Consumables and Zweihander, go for a nice stroll down to New Londo Ruins to get the Firekeeper's Hole, and reinforce my Estus to +1. Then I make my way through Undeadburg up until the tower, but instead of going up to Taurus Demon, I go down to Havel so that I can make my way down to Darkroot Basin. While I'm there, I get my strength to 16 so I can two-hand the Zwei, pick up the Grass Crest Shield for extra stamina regen, then make my way up to the man himself, Andre. Alright, you can calm down now. Ugh. Anyway, I upgrade my Zwei a bit and grab the Bonfire by Andre. Then, I go to Darkroot Garden to pick up a few things. First on the shopping list is the Elite Knight set, which is a small upgrade to the armor we have now. Then I get the Wolf Wing, which increases my poise. To wrap this up, I pop some souls, level up Vig, pick up the Firekeeper's Soul, go open free Lautrec, get my Zwei to +4, take the elevator down to Firelink Shrine, forget to reinforce my Estus, kill Lautrec to get his ring, go back to Undead Parish, then go back to Undeadburg. Now, finally, we can move on to something a bit more interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers and gamerettes, let's move on to the bosses. We got 2 back-to-back ones, so try and keep track. First up is the big old Taurus Demon. I, of course, use the gold pyroresin I got, and he goes down pretty easy, not even hitting me once before I can kill him. I mean, heck, instead of the Taurus Demon, his name should have been the stupid, dumb, easy peasy demon. For my quick little break, I go on to Andre and get my Zwei to +5. Then, we can move on to the Bell Gargoyles. The first gargoyle goes down fairly easy, however, the second one poses a quite interesting challenge. He keeps breathing fire, and that keeps stunning me. It got pretty close, but what would this show be without a little suspense? I guess it is true what they say. You really can kill 2 gargoyles with 1 Zweihander. Oh my god. Oh, what happened? I blacked out for a minute. Where was I? Oh, yeah. With the first bell rung, I go back down to Firelink, kill the Crestfallen Warrior for some extra souls and level up my endurance. Going down to lower Undeadburg now to kill Capra. He and his 2 annoying dogs go down easily, not really much to say about them. After that, I go down to the depths and pick up the Large Ember, free Laurentius, but don't go down to kill the Gaping Dragon just yet. I figured that his charge move would probably be a little much for me to handle at the moment, so I saved him for later. Done with the depths for now, I went back to Firelink, talked to Laurentius to get a Pyroflame, Iron Flesh, and Iron Sweat, which, in retrospective, I only needed Flash Sweat, because Iron Flesh doesn't provide that much more defense, and the slowdown it gives you is just annoying. Anyway, using the tunnel via Valley of the Drakes, I make my way down to Blighttown and get to Quelaag, who is surprisingly the first kind of challenging boss of the run. The main problem with her was that her attacks either did a lot of damage or would stun me a lot. She had the Stomp move that would insta-kill me, and the poison I got from the swamp before her would constantly drain my health. But simply waiting for the poison to go away before fighting her, using Flash Sweat, having her push me around which made her miss her sword attacks, and getting lucky with her not doing the Stomp move, let me finally get her. But it was very close. After ringing the second bell, I went to the back of Blighttown to pick up some large Titanite shards, and also got the Firekeeper's Soul while heading up to Firelink and going to Sen's Fortress. Before making my way all the way through Sen's Fortress, I went to the giant up top to kill him and get the Titanite chunk he drops, then went behind the first wizard snake to get some large Titanite, then went back to Andre to get my Zwei to +8. Finally making my way through Sen's, I pick up the Ring of Steel Protection, bought the Spellstone Plate Ring from the Crestfallen Merchant, killed the Firepod Giant to get another Titanite chunk, and made my way to the Iron Golem. He wasn't too bad because most of his attacks would miss me, but I kept having this strange issue with him. I kept getting launched out of the map when I attacked him sometimes, and it was just weird. But eventually, I got him. After all, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Now in Orlando, I level up Vig, Endurance, and Strength some more, before running past the Painting Guardians, Gargoyles, Giants, Batwing Demons, and Silver Knights to get inside. Inside, we can get the Havel set, which will be our best armor for most of the run. Then I go to the Giant's Blacksmith to get my Zwida plus 10. Then I go and try and take Ornstein and Smo. Now, these guys were kind of a problem. In the first phase, Ornstein was very fast, and Smo did a lot of damage and would knock me around a lot. Now, because I hate fat people, I had to face Super Smo in second phase, and he did a shit ton of damage. Iron Flesh had its one and basically only use here, as it would greatly reduce the amount of damage I took. So popping it before going in, getting kinda lucky with the moves in first phase, popping again as soon as second phase starts, and Ornstein and Smo became Orange Shit and Smegma. Now that I have the Lord Vesicle and killed Guinevere, I kinda went all over the place because I wasn't really sure on what to do in what order. So if it seems like I'm doing things randomly or things that don't make sense, it's cause I am. Anyway, using the souls I got from ONS, I went back to the Giant's Blacksmith and bought the Giant set and some Twinkling Titanite, because Giant set at max level actually provides a little more defense than Havel set, and trust me, I was going to need that little bit. Then I killed the Firekeeper in Orlando and picked up her soul, went down to Quaylock's sister and killed her, forgot to pick up the Firekeeper's soul seed drops because I'm a fucking idiot, then went to the Catacombs and quickly found my way down to Pinwheel, who, probably could have guessed, doesn't pose much of a problem. I have Patches kick me down the pit so I can get the Skull Lantern, and instead of proceeding my way down to Nito, I whoop out and make my way to Moonlight Butterfly for some fucking reason. Anyway, on my way to her, I bought the Crest of Artorias, and Moonlight Butterfly was actually kind of hard. Her biggest problem was that her magic did quite a bit of damage and she would keep on flying around. I had to keep Iron Flesh activated the entire time to lessen the amount of damage, and I didn't have a lot of Estus. When she finally came down though, I used my Zwei like a boot and stomped on that bitch. Using the souls I got from her, I went back to Orlando and maxed out my Giant's chest plate. Then I made my way back to Undead Asylum to get a Titanite chunk from Spokely and to face off against Stray Demon, who was probably the hardest boss so far. His explosion magic and swings do crazy amount of damage and knocked me back, and I wasn't doing that much damage to him. He took the most tries out of all the bosses so far, but eventually him and his fat, juicy, succulent, bombastic, frivolous ass came down. In the end, it came down to just trading attacks and getting lucky with him doing a lot of butt slams instead of spamming his explosion magic. Picking up the Titanite slap he drops and getting the peculiar doll, we can leave Undead Asylum and go to the Great Hollow, where I tried killing some crystal lizards to get some twinkling Titanite to level up my armor some more, and some Titanite chunks so I could get ready to max out my Zwei. Instead though, I got really lucky and got a Titanite slab. Also, while I was there, I picked up the Stamina Ring. I went back to Filing, talked to Frampt, had him bring me down to a sex dungeon, then gave him the Titanite slab so he could turn it into a Titanite chunks. Then went to kill Sif, who was kinda hard because most of his attacks stunned me, his double sweep attack did major damage, and he was very mobile. I didn't have much Estus, but eventually he got put down. Look, I didn't want to kill Sif either. This is just how it has to be, guys. Calm down. I then went back to Orlando and maxed out my Giant's leggings. Now, instead of going to New Londo Ruins to get a very big ember, like, I don't know, a person with a brain would do, I went to the Painted World, like a fucking idiot. The Painted World itself wasn't too bad. I jumped over the railing to open the front door early and used the dead dragon's legs to get down instead of going through Skeleton Hell. But Priscilla posted a huge problem for me because of her bleed. Her bleed buildup was very quick, and her bleed did 50% of my health. And because I can't fucking leave without killing her, I thought it was fucked. Even with the most bleed-resistant armor I had, she would still kill me very quickly. All had seemed lost. But then, I had come up with the most genius plan. To literally just hug her ass. Now, you might say that this is me avoiding her attacks, but anytime she attacked me, I would stay still and she would miss me. Therefore, I wouldn't say I was avoiding her attacks in any way. I was simply positioning myself that would make me get hit less. And if you're still saying that this is cheating, then oh, shut up. If I didn't do this, I literally would have been soft locked. So after hugging and sniffing her ass, I made that cold bitch colder, then went to try Gwendolyn, got one shot, then said fuck it, and went to Duke's Archives. After dying to Seath, getting out of prison, running through the archives, and getting into the Crystal Caves, I got to him and got cursed because I forgot to get any purging stones. Instead of getting any purging stones and going to try Seath again, I saw an opportunity. While I was cursed, I went to New Londo Ruins, and being cursed, I could actually kill the ghost, making New Londo Ruins an actually good area. I know I could have done the same with transient curses, but shut up, let me have this. After draining New Londo, I could finally get the very large ember and maxed out my Zwei. Now, with a maxed out Zwei, I went to the female undead merchant and bought some charcoal pine resin and some purging stones. While I was over in Lower Undeadburg, I made my way to the depths and finally fought the Gaping Dragon, who, as you probably could have guessed, was not hard at this point. I then went to Blighttown to pick up Power Within for some reason, then made my way back to Seath. Using Power Within and having a fully upgraded Zwei, Seath and a scaleless ass, crystal ass, blue ass, bitch ass, betraying ass, squiggly diggly ass, goofy ass, cursing ass, shit ass, regenerative crystal ass, magic ass, dragon ass, no links ass, stupid ass, smart ass, fuck ass, no ass, one of the four lords ass, and no bitches ass went down. I didn't even have to use any purging stones. With Seath gone, I made my way back down to the Tomb of Giants, past the skeletons, past the reused boss that I already killed, and down to Nito. I thought that because of all the skeletons he had in this room, it would be a pain, but he was actually pretty easy, and ended up killing most of the skeletons for me. After putting him 6 feet under like he belonged, I leveled up a bit and used my extra souls to upgrade my Pyroflame to +4. Now, it was time for the 4 kings. I thought these guys were going to be a huge pain in the ass, so when I got down to the abyss, I buffed my weapon with charcoal pine resin. I ended up making those 4 kings my 4 bitches and laid them out like an art piece. Using their souls, I, again, upgraded my Pyroflame. You might be wondering why I'm upgrading my flame, as none of the spells I am using scale with the Pyroflame at all, but I will explain that later. For now, it's time to kill Ceaseless. Using Flash Sweat, his attacks didn't do much damage to me, so I just traded with him, and eventually he, just like my discharge, got cleaned up. Now, you should expect me to go through the rest of Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith because I'm already there and that's the last Lord Soul I needed, but why would I do anything that makes sense? No! Instead, I made my way back to Haviland Undead Parish to kill him and get his ring, to kill the Hydra, to kill the Golden Golem, to free Dusk, then go all the way back to Duke's Archives to kill the Blue Golem and get the Broken Pendant to enter the DLC. Starting the DLC off with Sanctuary Guardian, he goes down easily, but that's mostly just because I got lucky with his moves. I used his soul to upgrade my Pyroflame, then went to Great Hollow for some reason. I really don't remember why I did this. I think I wanted to do something with the Dragon Covenant, but I never ended up doing anything with it, so it was just a waste of time. Anyway, I went back to the Crystal Cave to farm up some Twinkling Titanite so I could finally upgrade the Giant set for Artorias, because I knew he was going to be kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm thankful I did that, because he kind of was. The main problem with Artorias is when he would do his buff AoE attack. After he would do it, he would always do way too much damage to the point where I could now heal it. However, being the genius that I am, I figured out that if I threw a knife at him while I was doing it, I could hit him in the head and cancel him out of it. As soon as I figured that out, I put him down just like his dog. After him, I made my way through Ulyssil down to Ulyssil Dungeon, and then warped back to Demon Ruins to prepare for Manus. I thought Manus was going to be the hardest boss so far, so I wanted to get some souls from the bosses in Demon Ruins to get ready for him. Demon Fire Sage goes about the same as Straden, slicing his hot, fat ass in half. Centipede Demon was pretty annoying, mostly because for the first part of the attack I couldn't even attack him because he wasn't close enough, but when he got close, I crushed him like the centipede he was. Now we had Bed of Chaos, who was probably the most annoying fight. They weren't the hardest, not by far, just the most annoying. Getting her 2 sides down was pretty easy, but getting to her center was the fucking most annoying part. Her constant sweeping attacks kept knocking me back, and she kept stabbing the ground, which did major damage. The only way I found to beat her was to stand just far enough to where her sweep attacks would miss me. And this doesn't count as a dodge, because I am standing still. Then to rush in as soon as the attack ended, to throw her little insect body into my bed, pull the sheets over her head, and fucking beat her ass like a pillow! Sorry about that. After I killed her, I talked to Quaylana to get the Fire Tempest Pyromancy. Now, the reason I got this Pyromancy, and the reason I was upgrading my Pyroflame, was for Manus. I thought that Manus would be the hardest boss so far. I thought he would kill me way before I could even come close to killing him. So, I thought that if I could do a lot of damage to him as soon as I came into the arena, I could then take the rest of his hits and barely survive long enough to kill him. With a plus 15 Pyromancy and Fire Tempest in hand, I finally decided to face Manus, Father of the Abyss, and... yeah, Fire Tempest did barely any damage, but it didn't matter. I really overestimated Manus because he really didn't do that much damage, and Mazurite did much more damage than I thought it would. I even got him on my first try. After Manus, I tried Gwendolyn again, got stunlocked to death, and said, okay, fuck. I had no plan for Gwendolyn at this moment. I thought he might genuinely be impossible, would require insane grinding, or would require insane luck. So I took a look back at the rules I set at the beginning of the run. 2. A boss missing their attack does not count as me dodging their attack. If I am standing still and don't get hit, then that counts as them missing me. If I am standing still and don't get hit, then that counts as them missing me. Then I had an idea. Not an idea to tank him, but to make him not even attack me. First I went back to Darkroot Garden to kill Ferris to get a bow, then went to the female undead merchant to get a lot of poison arrows, then went to the giant's blacksmith to get the hawk ring behind him, and finally farmed to 18 dex so I could use the bow. Going back to Gwendolyn, I stood at the start of the hallway and didn't run after him. If you do this, he won't actually attack you and you can shoot him with arrows. They won't do any damage, but because I'm using poison arrows, they still apply poison. So after poisoning him a few times, just like the femboy he is, I fucked him up. With Gwendolyn dead, we can finally move on to the kill of the first... oh wait, I forgot to kill Camelite. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, now we can move on to the kill of the first flame. And surprise, surprise, Gwen isn't too challenging. He does do a shit ton of damage and his grab attack is very worrying to get by, but he still wasn't too bad. After crumbling the Lord of Cinder like a cinder block, I can say that yes, you can beat Dark Souls by getting hit with every attack. Thanks for watching, and let me know what other challenge runs you would want to see me do. Not just for Dark Souls, but for Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, or Elden Ring. This is also my first video and first time doing something like this, so tell me what I can improve on. But for now, take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon.